Wait po. All right. I
Okay.
think it's being recorded now. All right. I'm good.
Okay. M for Mark.
A for Angge.
E for Eds, and welcome to another episode of.
Miss Chapter Chatters.
From fiction to podcast. Miss ko yatang sabihin nyo na. How about you guys? Did you miss greeting our listeners with a warm welcome?
Of course naman, kasi silang i-welcome. And I hear that, well, regarding another episode for Miss Chapter Chatters, na-excite talaga ako. How about you, Eds? Na-miss mo ba sila?
Yeah, actually, I'm counting down the days na nga and wait, but seriously, I've been looking forward to for another chapter chatter episode with you guys and our listeners since like forever.
Grabe naman sa forever. Pero, hoy, ang sweet ha. Honestly, I feel incomplete without you guys. Kaya, oy, we really need to do this today. Like, right now.
Oh, I agree. Kawawa naman kasi sila, di ba? Sa atin lang
Mm.
umaasa.
Yeah, true. I'm sure they missed us a lot too, and we've been away for like how long na ba?
It's been 2 weeks, 3 days, and 6 hours and 20 minutes.
Hindi ko kinaya yun ha.
Grabe.
Akala ko ba Eds was the one counting the days? So parang hindi naman. Even so, I'm sure the dedication that we put into this thing we do is hindi naman nagbabago, di ba?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We continue to listen to like, our dear audience's suggestions and they listen to our discussions in return as we dissect, you know,
Wow,
dissect.
dissect ah. Nasa biology ba tayo, be?
Wala naman po, pero, dissect another literary gem for them, for our dear listeners, di ba?
You can be anyone talaga kapag reader ka, no? May pag-dissect bigla na nangyari. Anyways, quick update naman sa nangyari sa inyo. Sabi nga ni Kuya Mark, in the span of 2 weeks, 3 days, 6 hours, and around 21 minutes na siya ngayon.
Tournament. So yeah, I've been reading, watching, writing the past few days, and of course, doing homeworks. So I'm very much stressed out.
Ako naman, ito, nagre-ready for the summer soon. 'Di ba? Wala ako ngayong
Nice.
bakasyon mga B. Sana all, 'di ba, may bakasyon.
Ayan, parang nahiya tuloy akong sabihin yung life update ko. Well, as for my life lately naman po, na nobody asked, but I'd like to share pa rin. I think I can say that it's been like going really well. I've been working on my writing skills and trying to explore new hobbies. I also discovered a fear. Pak. I also
Ah,
discovered a fear that I
Fear.
am not familiar with. A fear that I am not familiar with before. And currently, ito na ayoko sanang sabihin, pero I'm focused on planning the things I want to do when I go to my parents' house for vacation.
Nice.
wow. Sana all talaga may bakasyon. But ayun nga, since you mentioned something about being able to identify one of your fears, I suddenly remember lang our last episodes.
Oh, our last episode, like about the Simba the Sailor, right?
Yeah, it was a very memorable podcast, 'di ba? For me kasi since ang galing lang, ilang beses na siya muntikan mamatay pero grabe, alive pa rin talaga siya. Iba talaga yung kapit niya kay God, 'no?
Yeah, I agree. It was such a roller coaster story.
I think I really I think I really need to share this since we're on the topic na rin naman. Na-remember ko lang, there's a comment from our last episode na sabi niya, he or I'm not sure about the gender, pero he or she was able to realize that adventures daw po, whether it is good or bad, are worth sharing with other people. That's the exact
Yeah,
thing na ginawa ni Sinbad the Sailor to Sinbad the Porter, 'di ba? So, it's a proof na it's not just us who are having realizations here, and sila din, and it's, very fulfilling to know that.
yeah. It feels like all of our hard work are paying off, and in return, we are here again today, syempre, serving you another heartfelt chapter chatter.
And that's right. Then we receive another request from the comments and this is from Maria Juliana de la Cruz. Sabi niya, "Hi Miss, I'm a big listener of your podcast. First, I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude for the valuable content you consistently deliver. I recently experienced the most shattering betrayal in my 19 years of living. What's worse than that, this came from my best friend. Ouch, ang sakit naman. I feel like the person that I trust the most turned back on me at that time. I needed her so badly. I am not yet comfortable mentioning the specifics, but can you recommend a good read that can help me to determine where I should forgive her or not? Grabe. Sakit yun, B.
Grabe
Parang
naman
kapatid mo na
yun,
yun, B.
'di ba? One big
True.
hug with consent for you naman, Juliana.
Yeah, from the looks of it, I can feel naman na that she's a very good person. And, the fact that she's searching for a reason to forgive the friend is like a giveaway na eh, 'di ba? Not a lot of betrayed ones cares this much whether they should or shouldn't forgive someone. So, what do you guys think?
Ako naman, I think this situation needs mutual cooperation. Since if our sender wants to forgive the one who betrayed her, then the other one needs to seek forgiveness din, di ba? I mean, how can you forgive someone who does not atone for their faults and does not want to right their wrongs, di ba?
I totally agree with the both of you po dun sa part na yun, 'no. She doesn't want to give us the details, so we don't know the intensity of this betrayal. Pero regardless, siyempre hindi natin siya i-invalidate. If she felt betrayed by her best friend, then she felt betrayed. There's no excuse naman.
Yeah.
This situation of her is kind of familiar, don't you think? Like a test of loyalty, friendship, tapos betrayal.
Yeah, it is indeed familiar.
Wait, are we thinking of the same story ba?
Oh, wait. Let's do it together. On three, two, one. The
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 Kite
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 Runner.
Runner.
Runner. Ay,
Yeah.
ayan, ang
Sabi ko
bongga.
na
We
eh.
share, 'di ba? We share the same brain cells. Uy.
So yeah, since you mentioned like the intensity of the betrayal dito sa from ating sender, I feel like we should discuss like a particular chapter from the book na lang.
Yeah, yung the turning point of the whole story, no?
Yeah.
I think we're talking about like chapter 7. Ano, gawin natin. Let's try to retell it for them and then decide later on what insights to give, Juliana, our sender.
Yeah. It's been a while since I read the Kite Runner, so I think I will enjoy this chapter chatters of ours.
Yeah, me too. So, ayan. What are we waiting for? Taas ang kamay. Who's brave enough to start us off? Ay,
All right. I'll set us off. So yeah, for our episode of Chapter Chatter for today, just as a background information na lang, no? The Kite Runner is a novel written by Khaled Hosseini, published in 2003. And ayun, ita-tackle natin for today yung chapter 7. And ito yung like pinaka first segment. Ito yung passage niya. It started from um, Hassan when he had his dream and he told Amir about that dream. And yung dream na yun, or yung panaginip na yun, they were at Garga Lake with their father, Agha Sahib, and Rahim Khan, or Baba and Ali, along with many other people. And the lake was clear like a mirror, and um but no one was actually swimming because they believed a monster was in the lake, and the monster was swimming at the bottom, waiting, and all that. And sinabi ni Hasan dito na sa panaginip niya, tinanggal ni Amir yung sapatos niya and yung shirt niya, and he like dives into the water and para um paniwalain yung mga tao na wala namang monster dun sa lake na yun. And Hasan follows him even though he can't swim, and nag-swim sila ron sa middle of the lake, and inignore nila yung like takot nila na may monster doon. And yung mga nasa shore, yung mga tao na nasa shore, nakita na wala namang monster, only water. And as a result, the name of the lake is changed to Lake of Amir and Hassan, Sultans of Kabul. So ayun, pinangalanan sa dream na yun yung lake with their names, Amir and Hassan, and they start charging people to swim in it. And when Amir asks Hassan what the dream means, Hassan says he doesn't know, and tinanong niya naman si Amir for like his interpretation, kung ano yung pagkaka-interpret niya dun sa dream na yun. And dinismiss ni Amir yung dream na yun, saying that nothing happens in it. But pinaniniwalaan ni Hassan na yung dream na yun always mean something. So, para sa kanya may meaning yun. And later on, in the first part of the chapter, they prepared to go kite flying on a snowy day. So, mas snow. So, malamig. And um, Amir feels nervous about it. Kasi, sabi niya nga, niremind siya ni Hassan na walang monster doon, just a beautiful day. And encourages Amir to fly kites with him. And yung passage na 'to, um, parang ito yung naging showcase ng deep bond ni Amir and Hassan, and ito yung nag-highlight ng, um, kaalaman ni kaalaman ng magkaibigan sa, um, like sa understanding and emotion ng isa't isa. And yung dream na 'to parang it serves as like a metaphor for their journey together, within this story, and where this is where Amir and Hassan face challenges and overcome them as friends. And it strengthens their friendship, and it also emphasizes like the theme of like redemption, because they transform fear into courage, and this essentially creates a positive impact on their surroundings. And gaya nga ng sabi nila na nung isa na baka may meaning yung dream na yon, but then um kahit na may meaning yun, they still turn that fear into courage. And I think it tells us a lot na as long as you have your friend by your side, you can overcome challenges. And ito yung nangyari dun sa story na natatakot pa rin si um Amir and Hassan na, I mean, in themselves natatakot sila na mag-fly ng kite during that day, kasi 'di ba may kite flying competition. And sabi ni Hassan, it's a beautiful day. And sinabi ni Amir na, I don't know, maybe we should go home. But then, ini-encourage pa rin siya ni Hassan na wala namang monster, walang meaning yung dream na yun. So, we should not think about it and just proceed with the day. And sabi niya, like, in a calming voice, I mean, to my interpretation, na no monster. Sabi niya, feeling a little better to his own surprise. And inulit niya yun, no monster. And at this point, nangingiti na rin ako kasi like yung reassurance ni Hassan kay Amir, it touches me as well. And inulit niya na it is a beautiful day, isn't it? Let's fly. And sabi niya. And ayun, yun yung
Wow,
first segment.
ang shala naman. May naalala ko diyan, yung ano, yung
Mm.
sa movie na Luca, yung sinabi ni
Mm.
Luca na, "Silencio Bruno." Ayan, 'di ba? Na nagpatatag ng loob ni Luca, 'di ba? Para sumakay dun sa Vespa na gawa nila.
Familiar po ako diyan 'no, parang si Alberto tsaka si Luca, they do things together and then they support each other. Do
Yeah,
you have that kind of friend po in your life, Kuya Mark and Eds?
Yes, meron naman siyempre.
I think all of us do. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I think so too. Parang things will be much easier when you have a Hassan in your corner, no? Parang, someone who knows how to bring out the best in you, retain the courage and confidence whenever you lost it. Na-miss ko tuloy bigla yung bestie ko. Pero anyways, ayan. Punta tayo kay Hassan tsaka kay Amirla. Let's proceed na po.
Okay, okay. So, I'll take the second part na. So, ito na yung nangyari. So, after that nga, ayun nga, napaisip si Amir na sa mga sinabi ni Hassan. And because of Hassan's silly dream, yung anxiety ni Amir yung nawala. And then, Hassan lifted the kite. But before that, Hassan licked his finger, yung parang ganyan. Then it held it up, tested the wind, and ran, in, ran into its direction. So, then, ayun nga, Hassan held the kite over his head na parang isa siyang Olympic athlete na pinapakita yung gold medal niya, gano'n. 'Di ba? Tapos maya-maya pa, huminga ng malalim si Amir at ayun, hinila niya na yung tali at yung saranggola nila nagmistulang racket sa sobrang bilis ng paglipad. Tapos ano, tuwang-tuwa si Hassan na napapapalakpak siya, napapasipol siya habang pabalik siya kay Amir. Then si Amir handed him the spool while holding to the string, and he spun it quickly to roll the loose string back on. And at least 2 dozen of kites already hung in the sky, like paper sharks roaming for prey. Then, after an hour, mas dumoble pa yung bilang ng mga saranggola sa sky. Maganda yung panahon na yun at windy din. Siyempre, di ba nga, yung mga tali, pag hinahawakan mo ng madiin na parang you're pulling it so hardly na magkakos ng scratch sa hands mo. And ganun yung nangyayari sa kamay ni Hassan habang ini-spool niya yung tali, di ba? So, and then, soon after, the cutting started. So, ito na nga, since still a competition, di ba? The first of the one defeated kite whirled out of control. Then tapos yung mga nahuhulog, ano naman, tinatakbo naman ng mga kite runner. So, para kuhain. And for them, it's like a prize. Kaya talagang pinag-aagawan talaga nila yung kite na nahuhulog. And then suddenly, etong si Amir, pumapapyaw lagi siya ng tingin doon sa baba niya. Kasi he's thinking what his father thinking, ganon. Is he cheering for Amir or he's just enjoying watching Amir lose? So, di ba? Grabe naman. Tapos siyempre, ang dami ng naglalaglagan ng kite. Pero si Amir, yung kite nila, nalipad pa rin, di ba? Siyempre, he's thinking kung na-miss ba yung baba niya sa kanya kasi tumagal siya ng ganong katagal. And there is a red kite na palapit dun sa kite ni Amir and buti na lang na niya yun, na-catch niya just in time. Then later, atong red kite na 'to, tinangka uli siyang i-cut, pabagsakin yung
Grabe.
saranggola niya, yeah, from below. Pero suddenly, fortunately, hindi nagtagumpay yung red kite, 'di ba? Then yung kite runner na tuwang-tuwa kasi nga ang dami nilang naka-capture na kites, yung mga nalalaglag. But still, the bigger prize was always still flying. Siyempre yung kanila yun, di ba? Then, Amir's kite slice a bright yellow kite with coiled tail, but it cost him another sugat dun sa finger niya. Pero buti na nga lang nandiyan si Hassan para mag-hold ng string para sa kanya habang pinupunasan niya yung dugo sa jeans niya, 'di ba? Sana all may ganyang best friend. So
True.
then, from 50 to 12 kites na lang yung natitira dun sa sky. Then, Amir knows that kites na nalipad pa din is truly good. Siyempre, 'di ba? They wouldn't easily fall into simple traps, ganyan. Then, by 3 o'clock ng hapon, they were down to half a dozen. So, mga 6 na lang siguro to kasi half a dozen na lang. Then, siyempre, yung kahit ni Amir, nandun pa rin kaya hindi siya makapaniwala na hanggang dun, nandun pa rin siya. And for such a long time that he looked up, then he got a stiff neck na nga. But yung determination niya sa puso niya was stronger than his physical pain. 'Di ba? Iba talaga yung determination niya, 'di ba? Tapos there was this kite, a blue kite, kung saan sobrang dami na daw ng cut na na-kite na baliktad. Marami na daw kite na nakatito. Then, dito nag-iingat si Amer kasi talagang magaling 'to, yung blue kite. Then, after 30 minutes pa, only 4 remain na lang na kite. Then, Amer kite is still flying, oh, 'di ba? Nasa pang-4 na lang yung natitira, 'di ba, nandun pa rin siya. Kaya talagang mas
Malabo.
nagiging yes, talagang mas nagiging alerto 'to si Amir. Then, after another 15 minutes, it was his kite and the blue kite na lang, o 'di ba? Dalawa na lang
1v1.
sila. 1 versus 1 na nga 'to, babe. Then eto na nga, nagsisigawan na yung mga tao na ikat na nga daw ni Amir yung blue kite. Kaya ayun, humahanap siya ng tiyempo, babe, para yung kalaban. Then walang pag-aalinlangan 'tong si Amir kasi gustong-gusto niya talaga manalo. Tapos to the point na napapadasal na talaga siya, eh. Sabi niya, "If there was a God, he'd guide the wind blown for me," para matalo niya yung kalaban, oh, 'di ba? And then eto na nga, ang nakakatuwa, humangin nga talaga. Humangin nga, dininig ng Diyos yung panalangin niya, oh, 'di ba? Kaya dun, ayun, kumuha na siya ng tiyempo para yung saranggola nung kalaban. Then, yung mga tao walang hindi na sumisigaw hanggang sa napapikit na lang talaga 'to si Amir at boom, oh, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Ano kaya nangyari? So, sabi na nga. So, ang narinig niya lang is, "Bravo, Amira Aga," 'di ba? Ang sumalubong sa kanya, then pagbukas ng mata niya at ayun, nanalo na nga siya, 'di ba? Nagapi niya yung kalaban, oh, 'di ba? So, siya na yung panalo. Siyempre sobrang tuwang-tuwa si Avernion to the point na napapa-imagine siya na he's not getting out of the bed, going down to kitchen to eat breakfast alone, 'di ba? Then, he look at his baba, then nakita niya na yung baba niya, ano, nag-i-scream tapos pumapalakpak. Then, ayun yung pinaka most significant moment ni Amir for 12 years of life. Wow, grabe, For the first time na nabubuhay siya ng 12 years, dun niya lang nakita yung ano, na naging proud yung papa niya sa kanya, oh, 'di ba? Tapos, then itong si Hasan nagmamadali. Tapos ano nga, bakit yung bakit siya nagmamadali? Kasi ayun nga, kukuhain niya nga yung saranggola nung kalaban, yung blue kite, para ibigay kay Amir dahil nga 'di ba, for them ayun yung trophy, 'di ba? So pinipigilan pa siya ni Amir niya, but siyempre para sa kaibigan, he do everything, 'di ba? Then bago pa mawala si Hasan or bago pa umikot si Hasan, sinigaw niya kay Amir na ano, "For you, 1,000 times over." Oh, 'di ba? What a
Oo.
kind of friend. 'Di ba, at diyan nagtatapos yung kite tournament nila, 'di ba?
Yay!
Napaka-ano,
Yeah, props to Amir, ang galing ni Amir and that blue kite, that was a challenge. And yung baba niya, at last naging very proud kay Amir and that was very touching and Hassan din, um, as a friend is very touching kasi ang loyal niya kay Amir and sabi niya, "For you 1,000 times over," and very heartfelt yung message na yun na kahit libong beses pa para kay Amir.
Tama, tama. Pagdating naman sa ano, punta tayo dun sa parang dedication and passion ni Amir pagdating dun sa kite tournament. He's very natural when it comes to this kind of game. Pero something's bothering me lang dun sa part na kwento ni Kuya.
Ano yun, B?
hmm,
I feel like he's doing the kite tournament thing not because he enjoys doing it, but because he's seeking for the validation of his dad. Kasi parang, 'di ba, pag mahirap na yung situation, he's going to look kung ano na yung reaction ng father niya and parang ganyan. Kasi kung
Hmm,
gusto mo yung ginagawa mo, dapat para siya sa'yo. Yun.
absolutely, absolutely. I think
tama,
so too
tama.
kasi, well, we cannot blame him naman if he wants to, seek validation, to be loved, 'di ba? Um, let's see if he'd be, you know, sa next part ng story, let's see if he'd be able to get that validation from his papa.
Tama, I think tama. Let me continue kung talagang makukuha niya yan and what's the price that he has to pay para makuha yung validation na yan na sobrang tagal niya nang hinahanap, no? So, ayun, dinanalo nga siya. After the tournament, of course, Amir received a lot of attention and congratulations from the people around him. And since Hassan had the kite, he began, 'di ba kinuha niya nga, gusto niya kunin niya nga siya yung kukuha and he began searching for him na, Amir, Amir. He began searching for Hassan. And then the first person he asked pointed him to the bazaar, like palengke, ganun. And on his way, he saw a church. Habang papunta siya sa bazaar, he saw a church and remembered that Hassan is the kind of person who never misses any of the five daily prayers. Very mabuting tao. Kahit naglalaro sila, Hassan will always, excuse himself just to pray. And then, after some emote-emote moments ni Amir, he continued the search na para dun sa blue kite, hindi para kay Hassan. And then, it was at dawn, and the public market is already emptied. Like, the vendors are already, like, packing their things up na. And then, he ran to an old merchant and asked if nakita niya si Hassan. He, like, described what Hassan looked like from the physical appearance. And then the merchant just, at first, the merchant scanned, Amir, like what Amir looked like. And syempre, leather coat, jeans, cowboy pants, mga ganun. Parang ang notion kasi sa Afghanistan that time is that when you own something American, it's taken as a sign of wealth. Parang parang ang yaman mo, parang super nasa ano ka, hindi ka ka-level ng mga nasa
Privilege.
public market. Yeah, parang privilege ka, ganun. So, ayun nga, parang nagkaroon pa muna bago siya sagutin, 'di ba nagtanong siya, so bago siya sagutin parang nagkaroon pa muna ng mini interview 'tong old merchant kay Amir. Parang sabi niya, "What is he to you, ma'am?" Pakialamera, parang very usual na palengkera ganyan. In the end naman, no, he or she answered naman Amir. He said that Hazan was running towards a certain direction with the blue kite. Parang natuwa si Amir na, ay, Hassan got the blue kite na. Pero, the merchant doesn't stop there kasi. He added na, the merchant added na Hassan is also being chased by three kids that are dressed like Amir. So, yes, nandun si Hassan, nasa kanya ang blue kite, pero may humahabol sa kanya. And what's so maddening about this situation is that upon hearing that statement, Amir is not worried about Hassan man. He's worried about the kite. Parang natuwa siya kasi hawak ni Hassan yung kite, not because Hassan is found na by the dawn kasi siyempre madilim na dapat you're worried about the friend. What a friend, 'di ba? And then here's what happened next. After some time, he was able to find where Hassan and the kite are. Nahanap na niya. And then Hassan was standing at the blind end of the alley, like a warrior protecting the blue kite behind him. Like there's their dead end, and then the kite, and then Hassan like protecting it with all his might, mga ganon. And since he knows that the kite is important to Amir nga, he guarded it even if he was scared. Siyempre takot siya. Clearly outnumbered siya 3-1. Siyempre, nakakatakot yung kahit naman ako, no? There are three kids that are blocking Hassan's way. Si Wali, si Kamal, and then the meanest among them, ganon, si Asef. You guys should find out more about them in their relationship with Hassan and Amir in the previous chapters of Kite Runner. Like, paano na-establish yung relationship nung tatlong bullies tsaka nitong dalawang mag-frenny. And then, ayan, Amir being very brave. Yeah, napakatapang niya. Being very brave as he is. Tumayo lang siya dun sa may likod. He just stood there as the three kids moved closer to Hassan. Nakakainis. Right then, ayun, habang pinapanood ni Amir na like i-approach nung tatlo si Hassan, Asef tried to make a deal with Hassan. He tried to negotiate, no? Parang he's saying that they won't hurt him in exchange for the kite. Parang, sige, hindi ka namin sasaktan. Just give us the kite. Do you know what Hassan did? He just shook his head and refused to give the kite. Only God knows what he was thinking, 'di ba? Like, he's in danger, man, and the very least you could do is try to protect himself kahit na hazara lang siya. Kahit na mas, like, lower um, yung parang status mo sa society, may rights ka pa din na protektahan yung sarili mo kahit na para lang siya sa friend mo. And then tinawanan siya nila Asef. They tried to manipulate him by saying that Amir will not do the same thing for you. You're just an ugly pet and nothing more, mga ganon. Pero Hassan, being very hopeful and optimistic, sabi ko sa inyo, napakabuti niyang person. Napakabuti niyang tao. He reasoned out that Amir and him are friends daw. Pero no, mali ka, magkaibigan kaming dalawa. And that statement of him made Asep really, really angry, like super mad. And then, he changed his mind. Itong mainitan ng ulo na to ni Asep na napakasama ng ugali, nagbago yung isip niya. Sabi niya, okay, I will let you go. He was letting Hassan keep the kite as a, no, not I will let you go. He was letting Hassan keep the kite as a reminder of what he is about to do daw. Ay, may gagawing masama. And then Amir, ito yung nakaka-frustrate. Amir is still there, not moving. It's so frustrating, 'di ba? Like, how is he able to like just bite his fist and close his eyes as Hassan is being hurled to the ground by three bullies. Like, nasa lapag na si Hassan talaga. Like, bugbog na siya and he did not interfere. But might as well join them harass Hassan. Di ba, sumama ka na lang. Di ba, bugbugin mo na lang din kasi nanonood ka dyan. Nakakainis.
True.
Grabe. Pero wait, before we proceed, I remember that there is a particular part of a memory in the dream in between, right, diba?
Mm, that's what I'm about to say rin, like, it looks like a flashback of fragments of,
Mm.
Amir's, like, certain realizations, 'di ba?
Mm.
Now that you mention it, yes, meron niya. Oo nga.
Yeah, yeah, sige. At yung nangyari kasi sa ano, particular memory, yan, the older man said that Amir and Hassan are fed from the same breast from a woman whose name is Sakina. And this woman is a blue-eyed Hazara from Bamiyan. Lagi daw nito kinakantahan si Amir ng mga old wedding songs, sabi ng old man. Then sabi pa ng old man ano, there's a brotherhood between people who feed from the same breast. So parang may pino-foreshadow 'tong ano, part na 'to, 'di ba, na may something na connection 'tong dalawa na 'to. And itong old man na 'to is a fortune teller. And sa bawat katanungan siyempre nanghihingi siya ng bayad, which is yung ₱1 nga. Then itong si Altan marami siyang tanong, 'di ba, marami siyang tanong. Kaya eto nagbigay siya ng barya, pati si Amir nagbigay din siya ng rupiya. Then etong old man tiningnan niya si Hassan, tapos tiningnan niya yung palad ni Hassan, tapos parang niyang binabasa 'to, yung normal na ano, mga manghuhula, binabasa yung kamay tapos napunta naman yung kamay nung ano, old man dun sa mukha ni Hassan na parang may something, ganyan. Then napahinto yung ano, fortune teller. Ta's ang ginawa niya na lang, binalik niya yung barya. Then pumunta naman siya kay ano, kay Amir. Tapos eto naman si Amir medyo kinakabahan kasi parang bakit napatigil yung fortune teller, ganyan. Tapos kaya ang ginawa niya, winidraw niya agad yung ano niya, kamay niya, ginanyan niya na agad, 'di ba?
Hmm,
Ayaw
that
malaman ni ate.
yeah, that memory, ayun yung parang nagputol ng tension sa story, but then it is like a significant part
Mm.
nung chapter kasi parang sinasabi ron na, you know, mas may deep connection pa yung dalawa. So, parang sinasabi na magkaibigan sila and then may loyalty itong si Hasan kay Amir, but then hindi siya tinutulungan ni Amir. And then comes the memory na possibly may deeper connection pa sila. So, parang lalong nag-ano yung emotion na bakit kaya hindi sine-save ni Amir si Hasan, you know? And yun na nga, along with that memory, meron din dream dito si Amir sa chapter na 'to, and like it holds such a symbolic significance in the story, in the whole story kasi yung dream na yun, Amir nakita niya yung sarili niya lost in a snowstorm. So, parang bagyo ng niyebe gano'n, and yung wind napakalakas, like sobrang lakas nung hangin na tumatama na yung snow sa mga mata niya, and nag-struggle siya na makalagpas sa blizzard na yun, and he was calling for help, but his cries are drowned out by the wind. So, yung pagtawag niya ng tulong parang hindi na naririnig kasi naaano na siya, nasasapawan na nung storm, nung snowstorm at nung malalakas na hangin, and, from that napagod siya and nag-collapse siya sa snow, and he felt hopeless and abandoned, and as he was traversing um, the snow, yung snow as he walks through, nako-cover yung footprint niya. So, yung part na 'to, he felt like a ghost. Yung pag-cover ng footprint nung snow, I mean, yung pag-cover ng footprint niya ng snow, it made him feel like a ghost with no trace of his existence. So, however, when he cries out again, he receives a muffled reply, like just by surprise na nung humingi ulit siya ng tulong, may nag-reply. Pero sino ba 'tong nag-reply na 'to? It is a familiar figure to him, and yung palm niya inabot nung familiar figure na 'to, and Amir takes the hand, and suddenly the snow disappears. So, nag-call out siya ng help, may nag-reply, and yung familiar figure na 'to inabot yung kamay niya and tinanggap niya yung kamay. And nawala yung snow, nawala yung storm. And after that, they find themselves instead in a field of apple green grass with kites of various colors flying in the sky. So, this dream is significant because like it symbolizes, like imagine mo na lang na it symbolizes Amir's feelings of guilt and redemption, and the snowstorm represents the burden of his guilt and his guilt for his past actions, 'di ba? And the disappearance of his footprints sa snow signifies his desire to escape his past mistakes. And yung hindi yung nako-cover yung footprints niya, walang trace. He wants to correct it. And the familiar figure for him likely represents Hassan, his friend, and childhood friend and servant, whom he betrayed and feels guilty about. Hence the dream. And yung transformation ng serene field of apple green grass and colorful kites, ito naman yung nagre-represent ng possibility of redemption and forgiveness. And I mean it may also symbolize the pursuit of happiness and the hope for a brighter future. And throughout the novel, not just in this chapter, Amir seeks redemption for his past action. But then, sa chapter na to, ito yung nag-serve as a manifestation of his inner struggles and yung journey na kailangan niyang tahakin para mahanap yung peace and forgiveness within himself. That's what the
Tama,
dream is about.
at saka parang naalala ko na kung bakit sa dream na yon is bakit of all the disasters, bakit winter? Kasi 'di ba winter din nangyari yung tournament, yung kite tournament. So,
True.
ayun, I'm glad that you guys were able to remember that particular part of the chapter, no? It resonates with the readers on so many levels, kagaya ng mga sinabi ni Eds. Again, thank you for bringing that up po. Nasaan na nga ba? Where are we again? Sa
Na,
part?
dun sa part na ina-assault ni Asaf si Hassan. Yeah.
So, ayun na nga. The alley was filled with scraps and garbages. This is how the story transitioned, no? The alley was filled with scraps and garbages. Like, puno ng basura. Of all the things that, pwede mong makita. Amir is only focused on two things. Siyempre, una niyang priority, the blue kite. Doon pa rin siya talaga nakatingin, mga madam. Sa blue kite pa rin talaga siya nakatingin. And then the second one is Hassan's brown pants. That is thrown on the heap of eroded bricks. Parang yung pants niya, alam niya na siguro kung like anong nangyari. And after physically assaulting him, Hassan was pinned to the ground. And, di ba, nibugbog siya. And then he was pinned to the ground while the bullies are arguing who's going to do it. Ayun, so parang isa yung kung natatandaan ko, yung hit ni Asef is like tinatapakan siya sa may neck na part, and then the Wally and Kamal is holding the hand at the back like this. And then, ayun, after some arguing, nakakainis na isipin na pinagtatalo na nila kung sinong gagawa nun. And then, at the end, Asef was the one who unbuckled his belt. They sexually molested Hassan din. as Amir is syempre is still standing there out of plain sight. Like andun pa rin siya. That's the most emotional part for me because Hassan didn't even struggle. Hindi siya pumapalag and I don't know the reason why kung bakit hindi siya lumalaban and as he moved his head a little bit like this konti lang just enough for Amir to catch a glimpse of his face parang pero hindi ko sure if nakita dito sa part na 'to kung nakita ni Hassan si Amir, but Amir definitely saw what Hassan looked like. And then the only thing that he remembered was the lamb. Yun yung sabi niya sa pov niya, the lamb. Certain context on this part, guys. If you are familiar with the Bible story where Abraham almost, sacrificed his own son for God, they celebrate it there in Afghanistan. Every year they handpicked a sheep and prayed for it and then they slaughter. And then after killing the lamb, they part it for certain numbers o kaya naman give it to the poor. Ayun yung ginagawa nung father ni Amir. They give it to the poor. Amir always watches and like every time he watches that ritual like happens on the backyard and imagine that the animal understands. Naiintindihan daw no habang tinitingnan niya yung mukha nung lamb, ang iniisip niya naiintindihan niya na kung bakit gano'n yung nangyari sa kanya 'no. He imagines that the animal sees its imminent demise is for a higher purpose. Sabi niya gano'n. He just compared his friend to a lamb that is about to die, guys. Kinumpara niya talaga 'no, yung kaibigan niya na na nando'n sa paghihirap na yun sa isang hayop na iaalay and then mamamatay para sa kanila. I'm starting to really hate him na, 'no. And then
Same.
after that,
Grabe naman kasi.
Amir stopped watching. Ito rin pinaka nakakainis, no? He stopped watching. After getting tired siguro of watching what is happening to his friend, he turned his back, he turned away from the alley, na tumakbo siya. Tapang naman niya. He was still biting down his fist. Nakagat-kagat niya pa rin yung fist niya, just enough for the blood to draw from the knuckles. And then he was weeping. He had that to make his decision kasi meron lang siyang dalawang choice. He could stand up for Hassan like the way he stood up for him and all the time and the things that are important, 'di ba? Like sa mga bagay na importante para sa kanya, Hassan is always there, 'di ba? Like the dream and then the competition. Sa panaginip, shinare niya kay Amir kung ano yung napanaginipan niya. They were together on his dream, ja. And then sa tournament naman, parang siya yung number one cheerleader ni Amir. Parang hindi pa na nawala pang kahit na napapabagsak. He's there to cheer for him. Or he could run away. And guess what? Guess what? Amir chose to run away, guys. Pinili niyang tumakbo. He was a coward that is afraid that Asef would hurt him too. Parang yun yung sinasabi niya sa sarili niya. Natakot siya na saktan din siya ni Asef or so it seems. He said that he was afraid of getting hurt. But the truth is, he thinks Hassan is the price he had to pay. No, the lamb he had to slay to win the father over Baba. Kasi 'di ba yun nga yung parang price na yun nga yung sinabi niya kanina na para yun nga yung sinabi natin kanina or yung naisip natin kanina na parang validation ng father niya. Meron siyang kailangan i-sacrifice and to think na ang una niyang naisip is si Hassan yung bagay na kailangan niyang isakripisyo. Kakainis. He was running away. He was running away, 'di ba? Tumakbo siya. He turned his back and then he was running away. And then he was running away and then he started to question if Hassan is really just a hazara for him. Like habang tumatakbo siya, tsaka niya na-realize, 'di ba? Parang ewan. Like habang tumatakbo siya, tsaka niya lang na-realize, tsaka niya lang tinanong if Hasara nga lang ba si Hassan for me? Like, is he just a mere servant in my life? And then after some realization, he found the answer naman and ran back to the alley. At this point, I thought he was going to stand up for Hassan already eh. Like, kasi 'di ba bumalik siya. After he ran away, then bumalik. After naisip niya and then bumalik siya. But no, he just waited for Asef's group to leave the place. And then waited again for Hassan to come out. Naghintay siya na umalis yung group ni Asef and then naghintay ulit siya na lumabas si Hassan. What's so sad about this scene is after all that Hassan has been through, he had the blue kite man. Andun pa rin sa kanya yung blue kite in his shaking hands. And the first thing that Amir does is scan the kite. The kite, guys, the kite for any rips. Not Hassan, not anything else but the kite. This is the part where I decided that if I were Hassan, I'm not going to forgive Amir man, no matter what talaga, kahit ano mangyari. It's just too much. And Hassan, being super kawawa, he stopped and then handed Amir the kite, the very important kite, diba? Like the star of the show kite. Hinand niya kay Amir yung kite, and then everything, ayan, after everything that has happened. Hindi pa talaga natapos si Amir eh. Talagang dinadagdagan niya talaga yung inis natin dito. After everything that has happened, he's not just a coward but a liar as well. And then after ano, 'di ba? Like first time niya na meet si Hassan like face to face. And then you know what he did? He pretended that he didn't know a thing. Like saan niya nakuha yung guts na sabihin tong mga bagay na to? Like he said, "Where were you? I looked for you." Like you were
Parang ang
man.
sarap manuntok na din.
Gigil.
Parang nakakagigil talaga yung part na 'to, eh, like sabi niya talaga, "Nasaan ka? Hinanap kita." Yeah, hinanap mo siya and then nakita mo kung ano yung mga pinagdaanan niya, pero you still lied. All he did was lie and act as if he didn't witness any of it. Kahit nakikita niya na, like magkaharap sila ni Hassan and then nakikita niya those tiny drops that fell from between Hassan's legs. Pinili niya pa rin magsinungaling. Like he had the chance to make so many choices on this part. Like ang dami niyang pwedeng pagpilian eh. Like meron lang talaga siya. Like this chapter is full of choices for Amir to like choose a side or choose a way na kung saan ka pwedeng pumunta. Hassan was still in a very pitiful situation as he limped away. Very kawawa, 'di ba? Umalis na lang siya. After lahat na nangyari, umalis na lang siya. And then, this is how the chapter ends. When Amir went home with his precious kite, syempre nakuha niya na yung kite, his father hugged him. Kasi 'di ba nakita natin dun sa competition that the father, Baba, is proud. Like, he's screaming, ganyan. And while his father is hugging him, like habang niyayakap ni Baba si Amir, these were his exact words that made me much more furious than I ever am. Parang ito yung pinaka nakakagalit na part para sa akin. Sabi niya ba naman, I forgot what I had done and that was good. Like that was good. On what particular part was that good, 'di ba? And that's how chapter 7 ends. Ito, nadadala ko ng damdamin ko talaga eh. Oh, what can you say about it naman?
Grabe, B. Oh my God, grabe. Parang feeling ko mas ano pa siya, kapantay niya yung ano, book na ano, Rendiren, her heartless grandmother, di ba? Grabe. Pero
True.
I'm trying to be fair with them, eh, pero wala eh. Grabe talaga yung ginawa niya, di ba? Pinabayaan niya yung kaibigan niya na walang ginawa kundi suportahan siya, di ba?
Yeah,
Di,
I cannot
paano
agree more.
umating yun? Di ba? Grabe talaga. But this chapter really replicates our Sanders situation, ano, diba? It's very amusing and sad at the same time. You know, that this particular scenario happen or maybe happening in real life.
Ayun. So, after all this talk, no? Ayan. That was a very great talk, guys. And I'm
Yeah.
like extremely sad to say this, but look at the time. But today's chapter chatter is about to conclude na. Like after all those emotions, it's time to conclude na. Let's share our final thoughts about this.
Sorry.
Yeah, Mark, you go first po.
Okay. What I can say na lang is that we should learn to appreciate our own worth at don't give everything to other people, di ba? Kailangan mo rin magtira sa sarili mo.
That's so moving naman, kuya. What a very great advice. And as for me, what I can like say to Juliana is ang gawin mo is assess the situation well before you decide. And sabayan mo na rin ang pag-read ng Kite Runner if you want to know what Hassan did. Like, etong chapter lang to kasi is just a chunk, hindi siya yung buo. Because forgiveness is a two-way street man, kagaya ng na-mention namin kanina. We cannot advise you to forgive the friend or not forgive the friend because we're not in your shoes. No? Ang tanging nakakaalam lang if patatawarin mo siya or not is you yourself. Different people tend to like see things differently din. How about you, Eds? Ano man na masasabi mo?
Yeah, I think that was a very heartbreaking story. And I mean, despite it, we should view it optimistically na, you know, after all of this, at the end of the day, na kung friend mo yun and you think he or she can stay as your friend, it will come to you. Forgiveness. It will come to you. And nasa sa'yo na yun um, kung paano mo tatanggapin yung forgiveness na yun from within yourself and yung forgiveness na yun para sa ibang tao. And yeah, that's about
Mhm,
it.
'di ba? Pero ano lang, linawin ko lang mga B, sa mga nakikinig sa'tin, at ay isang chapter pa lang, wala pa tayo sa pinaka-exciting part ng
True.
buong story, 'di
Tama,
ba?
tama.
It's just a piece lang, it's just a chapter lang mga B, And that brings us to our conclusion of another book knowledge filled episode of Maze Chapter Chatters. This is so exciting. I feel like we're just started, 'di ba?
Parang hindi ko nga napansin yung oras. As they say
Mm.
nga po, you lose track of time when you're doing what you love. And I really love talking about these kinds of things. I hope our dear listeners feel or felt the same way. Ayan, thank you guys for joining us today. We really appreciate all of you that are tuning into our podcast.
Yes, that's right. What do you guys think about this episode? And did it move you as it did to us? And do you have another book you'd like us to dissect together? And that is because we love hearing from you. So drop us a line at the comment section of this episode.
Yeah, if you never want to miss any chapter chatters, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast here in Spotify. Share it with your friends and family who are also passionate about books and life greatest lessons.
So guys, I'm about to cry with all of these goodbyes. Like
Yeah.
kanina lang nagsisimula tayo and
Mm.
it's not sinking in pa na we're done na with this episode. So enough with the
Yeah.
goodbyes already.
All right, time to bid adios. May the boundless world of literature continue to call you to new adventures beyond the cover pages of your books. Until our next chapter chatter.
Stay curious and keep the love and joy of reading alive in your hearts. Once again, and for Mark,
A for Angge.
E for Eds. This is May's Chapter Chatters.
from fiction to podcast.